There is a voice in your mind that never stops speaking. It is the most intimate companion you will ever know. It is there when you wake in the morning, and it is the last voice you hear before you fall into the deep of sleep. It is the narrator of your life story, the commentator for your every success and your every failure. But have you ever truly stopped to listen to it? Not just to hear the noise, but to truly understand the scripture it is reading from. You have been led to believe that this inner talk is merely a reaction to your world, that you feel discouraged because of a failure, or that you feel anxious because of a bill that is due. You believe your outer world is the cause and your inner conversation is the effect. Tonight, I am here to reverse that truth entirely. I am here to tell you that your inner conversation is not the effect, it is the one and only cause. That constant, unheard narrator in your mind is not just commenting on the play of your life. It is writing it, it is directing it, and it is starring in it. This series is about meeting that narrator and taking back the pen. To truly grasp the power you hold, I want you to imagine that within your mind there operates a radio station, your own private internal broadcast. This station is on the air 24 hours a day. It never sleeps. Its broadcast is your inner conversation, your silent internal speech. Now, for most of your life, you have been a passive listener to this station. You did not choose the programming. The frequency was set for you by your childhood, your past experiences, your fears, and the opinions of others. Perhaps your station is radio of worry, constantly broadcasting headlines about what could go wrong. Or maybe it's the scarcity channel with endless talk shows about bills to pay and money you do not have. You have been told that prayer is an act you perform at certain times, a petition sent out to a distant God. I tell you, that is not true prayer. True prayer is the broadcast of your internal radio station. That is the prayer that is being heard and answered every moment of your existence. The universe does not hear your 5-minute plea for abundance if for the other 23 hours your internal radio is broadcasting a symphony of lack. It cannot. If you are silently arguing with your boss in your mind on your way to work, do not be surprised when you are met with conflict and disagreement in your office. You have broadcast the scripture ahead of you. If you are walking through your day, having imaginary conversations of disappointment and rejection, the world must play that drama back to you. The world, you see, is only the acoustic mirror that faithfully echoes the broadcast from within. This is the great secret. Your inner speech is the creative force that molds your life. It is the cause, and your circumstances are merely the effect. The profound question then is not what your radio is broadcasting now. The question is, are you ready to become the station manager? Are you ready to consciously choose the music, write the news, and direct the entire program? Because you can. And the method is simpler than you think. So you are the station manager, the director of your own inner play. But how do you exercise this authority over a broadcast that has been running on autopilot for decades? The method is a threefold art. It requires awareness, discipline, and creation. First, the art of a silent witness. You cannot change a program you are not aware of. So for the next few days, your only task is to listen. Become a silent witness to the traffic of your mind. As you go about your day, simply observe. What is the tone of your inner narrator? Is it anxious? Is it critical? Is it hopeful? Is it complaining? Do not judge what you hear. Do not try to change it yet. Simply observe. This act of detached observation is the first step to reclaiming your power. You are realizing that you are not the voice. You are the one who hears the voice. Second, the discipline of the mental diet. Once you are aware of the negative broadcasts, the inner conversations of doubt, fear, and lack, your next step is to put them on a diet. When you catch yourself in the middle of an inner argument or a mental movie of failure, you do not fight it. Fighting it gives it energy. Instead, you simply stop the broadcast. You can mentally say the word stop, and then you consciously turn your attention elsewhere. It is like changing the channel on a radio. You do not argue with a song you do not like. You simply turn the dial. This is an act of immense self-discipline. At first, you may have to do this 50 times a day. It does not matter. Every time you refuse to entertain a negative inner conversation, you are taking back your creative power. Third, the joy of a new scripture. This is the final and most creative step. You do not leave the station silent. You must consciously broadcast a new program. Define the state you wish to experience, to be wealthy, to be loved, to be secure. Then construct a short, simple inner conversation that implies you are already that person. If you desire a promotion, do not have an inner conversation of wanting it. Instead, have an inner conversation where you hear your friend's voice congratulating you. Or simply have your own inner voice say, I am so grateful for this new responsibility. I truly love my work here. Choose a short, feeling-toned phrase and silently repeat it to yourself throughout the day. Let it become the new background music of your mind. This is you, as the station manager, choosing to broadcast the news of your victory before the world has had a chance to report it. So you see, the art in its simplicity. First, you listen to discover what is being broadcasted. Second, you refuse to give airtime to any program you do not desire. And third, you consciously broadcast the new story you have chosen to experience. This is how you become the master of your inner world. You must starve them of the one thing they need to survive, your attention. You have the principle and you have the method, but the human mind often craves proof. Let me share with you a story of a wonderful young lady who attended my lectures. She had a burning desire to be happily married, but her inner conversations were a broadcast of despair. In the privacy of her own mind, she would constantly tell herself the story of being unwanted. Her silent inner speech was, I will end up a lonely old maid. She would imagine her friends getting married and feel a pang of self-pity. She was, without realizing it, faithfully rehearsing a future of loneliness. I told her what I have just told you. I explained that she must change the broadcast on her internal radio. She must change the script. Her task was this, to completely stop the old sorrowful story and to create a new one that implied she was already a happily married woman. So she began. As she went about her day, instead of her old inner mumblings of self-pity, she began to have new inner conversations. She would silently say to herself, my husband absolutely adores me. She would feel an imaginary wedding band on her finger, and in her mind she would admire how it felt, its beautiful significance. At night before sleep, she would not see herself as a single woman going to bed. No, she was a wife. She would have a quiet, loving, imaginary conversation with her husband, who was lying there beside her. She would talk to him about their wonderful day together. She persisted in this new inner diet, this new scripture. And then it happened. Through a series of events she could not have planned, she met a man. The courtship was swift, and it was beautiful. And one day, after they were married, her husband said something that sent a shiver down her spine. He looked at her lovingly and said, you know, honey, the moment I first saw you, I had the strangest feeling that I had known you and loved you my entire life. He was only echoing the conversation she had first started within herself. She did not find a man who made her a wife. She first became a wife in her own imagination, and then her husband had to appear in her world to play his part. The story of that woman is your story. Her power is your power. Her inner narrator is your inner narrator. The only difference is that she became a conscious director of her inner speech, while most of the world remains its unconscious actor. You have tonight been given the greatest of all gifts, awareness. You are now aware of the internal radio station that broadcasts your reality into being. You can never again be a truly passive listener. This awareness is the first and most monumental step towards your freedom. So I leave you with this first assignment. For the next few days, until we meet again, simply listen. Listen to your inner conversations without judgment. Become intimately familiar with the tone and texture of your inner world. Recognize how the scriptures silently run in your mind precede the events of your day. This act of pure awareness, in and of itself, will begin to change you. You now understand the what and the why. You know the power that resides in your silent inner speech. In our next lecture, we will move from principle to practice. We will hand you the tools to become the master of this inner broadcast. We will learn the precise step-by-step methods to silence the broadcasts of fear and to consciously write and broadcast the script of your highest desires. Until then, listen, observe, and understand the power you truly are. Share with us in the space below what you have discovered, simply by listening to yourself. And now, let us go into the silence.